Welcome to This Is Episode 2 Moonbreakers. Moonbreakers is a free-to-play FPS. As you can see, the servers are divided by region. You can choose a few languages. It's released on May 18. It's a fairly new game. It can be played in a browser, which explains the few options that you have. As you can see, you can change a few keys. You can get a boost for real life money. Those boosts make you earn in-game money much more faster, which you can use to unlock ships and buy upgrades for your ships. In the hangar you can check on your ships. You have light. As you can see, you can buy the real money. You have light fighters, you have medium fighters, and you have heavy fighters, and you have bombers. Those four classes are all the types you can get. You get a light fighter and a bomber to begin with. You can upgrade them if you want, for which you need in-game cash. The ships are unlockable by HE3, which is the currency for real cash, or by an insane amount of cred. And I'll just start a match so we can look around a bit. There are three types of matches. Capture the flag, in which the team who captures the other team's flag 3 times wins. Carrier assault, in which you need to destroy the enemy base. And search and destroy, in which the team with the first 50 kills wins. As you can see, I'm trying to go with a bomber here. Bombers are a little bit slower than the other planes. They don't handle as easily, but they have more. They have better shields. Their weapons are a little bit better, and they have the strongest type of rockets that you can get, which in this case, as a carrier assault game, is pretty useful. I'm only going to as you can see, it's under the tab key. You have a normal FPS scoreboard. Every ship is trailed by such a blue or a red streak, depending on which team you're in. If you don't notice your enemy and you can't see him, then you don't see the streak. But if you spotted the enemy, then you can follow the streak to try to kill them. As you can see, there is real collision between ships. If you don't look out and you hit a rock, your shields will damage. If you hit another player, your shields will get damaged. Even if you hit a friendly player, it will get damaged. You have a few meters in your screen. The middle one are your shields. The right one are your weapon temp. If your temperature of your weapons is very high, then you start shooting slower. It also gives the status of your bomb that you're carrying. Green will say that you can shoot, and red then you have already shot it and it's reloading. On the left hand side you can see 2 meters. The speed, which gives you percentage of speed. You can slow down in the game. You can't stop, but you can fly really slow. You also have a little energy meter to the bottom right of it. This is your booster fuel. You can boost a bit, so you can go a bit harder than normal. It will take fuel, and as soon as you stop boosting, you will regain some fuel. Your shields will regenerate if you don't get hit. So if you're really careful, you can last quite a long time. If you have a lot of kills without dying, or if you're capturing the flag or something like that, you get a bounty on you. This means that if someone manages to kill you, they get extra cred at the end of the game, which they can again use to unlock ships and upgrade ships. As I said, this game is carrier assault, so you try to destroy the other's main ship. You can see ours here. In the top left and top right of the screen, you can see the flags from the government and from the pirates. Underneath the flag there's a bar. In this case it means the health of the enemy ship or your own. In capture the flag the bar will grow. Per capture you will get 1/3 of the bar extra. As soon as you have 3 captures you have a full bar, you have 1. In search and destroy you need to get 50 kills, and with every kill your bar gets a little bit fuller. Handling in this game is a bit different than you're used to. Since you're spaceships, you fly forward pretty much of the time. But if you're making a sharp turn, and especially if you've been using boost, you can't turn around on the spot. You will fly a bit backwards if you turn fast enough, but you will still need to calculate a bit of extra time to correct your course. As you just saw, I shot my torpedo at the enemy ship. When this happens, you see a little orange torpedo shape flying. This is the torpedo that's flying around. You can shoot those. If you hit them, they get destroyed and the rocket can't do any damage. Like I said, you mostly see bomber, the B7 and the F3. The B7 is the lightest bomber there is, and the F3 is the lightest fighter. These are free to play, you get them at the start. There are a few downloadable content packs out. These give you access to some stronger planes, stronger ships I should say, and they give you a little cred boost to enjoy. I haven't seen much of these ships, but what I notice is that they seem fairly overpowered compared to the start ship that you have. But then again, you can unlock them with in-game cash, so if you play long enough you can get enough to start playing with them yourself. As you can see, I've switched to the fighter. This ship is a little bit faster than the bomber and it's much more maneuverable, but it also has a turret that overheats way easier, and the shields aren't as powerful as the bomber. I've upgraded my fighter a little bit, so I believe everything at the moment is at level 1, and 1 or 2 things I upgraded level 2. As you can see, it's fairly obvious who wins or who loses. After every level you get this bar. It shows how many cred you earned, and the balance. I believe it's for the day because I've seen it reset after I played again. Between games you get a little bit, about 2 minutes to the lobby. You can upgrade your ship in the meantime. and you can see what the type the next game is gonna be and on which map it's gonna be. If enough players veto it, it will change. But I believe you need at least half of the players to do that. You can also ready for the next game. As you can see, the stuff that is upgraded, it becomes green on your stats. If you're ready for the next game and enough players have ready, the game will start a little bit early. You can also select your ship early, so you will be one of the first one out of your hangar. As you can see, we're already starting, even though there were about 30 seconds left on the counter. This is a search and destroy mission. That means that the first team to 50 kills will win. You will see a lot less bombers in here because they are really hard to turn around fast, which makes them vulnerable. You usually use bombers to take out the enemy base defense. So in Capture the Flag you see them a lot in the beginning, just to take out the turrets. And of course in carrier assault you will see them a lot to damage the carrier itself. As you can see, you have indicators which will show you from where you're shot at. You need to lead a bit with your shots. If you don't, you will never hit someone, of course. I believe if you lead right, you can see your cursor change in a red crosshair, so you know that you're at least hitting him. One of the cool things I find about this game is that when you blow up someone, they will really explode and obstruct your vision. So if your teammate is almost dead, you can use it as a distraction to kill the one that's after him. Like I said before, those other ships, which you can get by buying the downloadable content or by using cash, which is the only way to get them really fast, are a little bit overpowered compared to these free-to-play models. And you need to gank up on them to be able to destroy them without too much losses. And by using someone else is dead as a decoy, you can make it a little bit easier on yourself. As I've said before, you have collision, it damages you. So if you manage to shoot someone but not quite kill him before you're at him, and you bump into him, you can kill him that way. But of course you need to be really careful with this, because if your shields are low enough, you will also die. As you can see under the flags in the top left and right, you can guess how far we progressed at the moment. The pirates have around 25-30 kills, and the government will be around 15-20 kills. This is the easy way to check it. You can also of course check the score screen at any moment, but as you can see, it can get quite hectic in here, and you don't want to check the score screen while flying through all this. Now I must mention that I had some Capture the Flag footage recorded, but somehow I managed to lose them. I had them compiled to use in this episode, but in one way or another I only got a black screen, so you'll have to get them another time from me. You can download this game on Steam, as I've said before. It's available since May 18. You can also get your Chrome browser and play it as an app in that because it's a really light game. They made it for Chrome, but they also managed to get themselves in the Steam store. If you get damaged, if you lose over half of your shields, you start to smoke, which is a really bad thing because a lot of enemies can really can see you really good because of it, because they don't just have to follow the trail, they can just follow the smoke, and since you're already halfway dead, it becomes quite a risk to fly around in the middle of the battle. As you can see, when we win, we get about 1500 to 3000 cred. It depends a bit on how much you've done towards the finishing goal. So if you search and destroy, you can get a lot for kills, and if you don't die a lot, you get a lot more. If you do carrier assault, you get a lot. You get a lot of cred for damaging their carrier. You get a lot for shooting torpedoes out of the sky, so they don't damage your carrier. When you're playing capture the flag, of course the standard capture the flag things will score you points, like capturing, recovering. You of course gain also points for doing other things, such as in carrier assault. If you kill someone, you get points, but it's just not a lot compared to the points you should get in a search and destroy map. As you've seen on most of the maps, you have some kind of asteroid field which you can use as cover. You can also use it to try to get to the enemy without being seen. You do have to look out because some of these rocks are really close together and your ship will only just fit through. You have a level in which you have a partly destroyed moon, in which is right between your two carriers, and if you go towards the enemy, you pass each other in really tight quarters, which makes you vulnerable for rocket assault. As you can see, the enemy carrier has quite a lot of turrets. In search and destroy you only have a few, because it's more important that you kill each other. But in capture the flag and carrier assault there are quite a lot of turrets, so it can be beneficial to your team if you take a lot of the turrets out before you're going for the objective, since the turrets can also hit your bombs, which will make them useless in the beginning. And of course, with capture the flag, it's quite hard to get into the base without getting shot at, since the closest you can get is about 3000 meters before you have to leave the asteroid field behind you. Unfortunately, at the moment, getting a carrier a bit down with just the B7 means pretty much of the time that you're doing suicide ones, just to get the turrets to focus on your ship and not your torpedo, and trying to get close enough to get the torpedo against the ship before you release it, or even destroying the turret with your gunfire. But as you just saw, that can be quite difficult in the beginning. As you can see, you can roll around your X. There is no really up and down in this game, except what you see as up and down. If you use the A and the D keys, you can roll left or right. With the W and the S you can throttle up and down. Spacebar is the booster. I believe it's F or R to get rear view mirror. You can aim and turn with your mouse. Left mouse button is your gun firing, and right mouse button is you shooting your rockets. Which makes the controls pretty easy to use. As you can see, with all these asteroids around us, it can get pretty hectic in small quarters, since as far as I know, friendly fire is off, but if you manage to hit each other, you can still die, because it's just not smart to fly into each other. Now, as I said earlier, the handling is a bit strange sometimes, especially if you're using the boost. You just saw me trying to get a other fighter, but he was flying at a normal speed, while I was trying to make a curve while using the boost, which made me swerve way too far, and which almost gave him the opportunity to turn around and shoot at me without me being able to hit him. Every match has a time limit. You have about 50 minutes to win the game. Usually it ends a little bit earlier. The search and destroy take about 10 minutes. Capture the flag depends on how fast you can get the turrets down. And the assault carrier, which we're doing now, usually takes about 13 to 14 minutes. So I haven't seen a game, as far as I can tell, that's been cut off because of time. But it is possible, and the team that's closest towards victory conditions will get the victory of that match. I told you earlier that if you kill if you get a kill streak, you get a bounty on your head, which is quite a risk, because other players, at least the ones of the enemy team, will see your name and they will see an orange figure next to it, which indicates the bounty that's on you. These orange figures are pretty easy to spot, so if you don't watch out, you will get the entire team after you before they see your other teammates, so it will make you a bit of a sitting duck. Here you can see me slipping way too far just because I'm using the boost to get around the corner. As you just saw on the score screen, we have a few ships in here that are part of the downloadable content. You will notice them in a bit just because they usually get a kill streak, so most of the time they have a bounty on their heads. As far as I know, you don't lose a bounty if you're killed by the other carrier. So if you are a bomber with a big bounty on your head and you just make a suicide one, you will respawn with the bounty. Now, as far as I noticed, there aren't really big problems with getting enough players in the game. I don't know how many servers there are, since you will be put into one without any input from your side. But as far as I can tell, there are enough people online at all times to be able to play a fairly decent game. You may notice that when I'm looking at the score screen, you can have a bit of a problem to get all the players on it, but the developers are still tweaking a lot of the game, since they released it and they already find quite a few bugs which they managed to fix, but they're in a kind of a released but still in beta phase. But for a free-to-play game of this caliber, I wouldn't say that's really a bad thing. If they manage to get some cash using the microtransactions and using the downloadable content packs, then I'd say that we're pretty much assured of quite a lot of content in the future, in the form of new maps, maybe a new mode or two, and of course some ships. But I don't know how many they'll release, because I think they could have quite a bit of balance balancing issues if they tried to put a lot of them in. So I've been playing the game for an hour about now. As I've said, I lost some footage, so you only see the last half hour of my play. I must say it's a pretty good game. It's something else than your normal FPS, just because it handles a little bit different. And of course, instead of people and guns, you have ships. But all in all, I'd say it's a pretty good game, and if you wanna kill some time, you should definitely look into this. Well, that's it for today. I'll see you all next time.